Today we're trying to bring Mono Blackburn to standard on just a 14 rare budget with the help of Bloodletter of Aclazotz. So here is our budget Blackbird deck for Lost Caverns of Ixalan standard. 14 rares and mythics on Magic Arena, 80 bucks in paper. So this deck, it's all about Bloodletter of Aclazotz. That's the reason we're paying the deck. So Bloodletter of Aclazotz, this 4-drop, 2/4 flyer that makes it so if our opponent would lose life during our turn, they lose twice as much instead. So this is the best payoff for Blackbird spells. If you look at Blackbird, most of them don't actually deal damage. They make the opponent lose life. So a damage doubler wouldn't do anything. And most of them are like kind of underpowered on rate because they have extra upsides like making you discard or making some blood tokens. But Bloodletter just supercharges them. So Okaiba Raid Reckoner, first 2 lore counters strain for 1. If we got Bloodletter, they strain for 2. That's 4 total damage for 1 mana. Hopeless Nightmare becomes ridiculous with Bloodletter. When it ETBs, our opponent discards and loses 2. With Bloodletter, they lose 4 for 1 mana. Vampire's Kiss makes some blood, drains for 2, 4 with Bloodletter, and then our big finisher, Rankle's Break. Each player loses 4. If we have Bloodletter out, we lose 4, our opponent loses 8. That is a huge chunk of our opponent's life total. It's pretty easy to like do a little damage in the early game, play a Bloodletter, the next turn attack with Bloodletter, Rankle's Prank, kill our opponent on the spot. We also have a bunch of creatures that are mostly also burn spells. Greedy Freebooter, mostly just for sacking, but Ron, when a creature dies, drains for 2, 4 if we got Bloodletter. Arrogant Outlaw, when it ETBs, if opponent had already lost life this turn, it drains for 2, 4 with Bloodletter. And then Foul Stinger is in our deck to draw cards, but it also can be a burn spell because it can target our opponent. So we can like play it, exploit a Greedy Freebooter, make our opponent draw 2 cards and lose 2 life, double up the life loss with Bloodletter, use it as a weird way to close out the game. Otherwise, we get a bunch of removal. Tithing Blade can craft into a burn spell, draining for 1 hour upkeep, Fanatical Offering for more card draw, Mana Base, Mishra's Foundry for control a bunch of swamps in the sideboard, Duresses for control, bunch of removal options, Soul Guide for graveyard decks, and that is budget Blackbird for Lost Caverns of Ixalan standard, and that's our deck for today. So let's jump into some games and see, can Blackbird actually compete in our new standard format? Thanks to Bloodletter of Aclazotz. Let's find out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some Magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. We've got new tokens and playmats, and you can even get the tokens signed if you want. Check them all out over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. Budget Magic time. We are playing some 14 rare, $80 Mono Blackbird, but in standard this time. And this hand looks pretty good. I mean, we got our big payoff in Bloodletter, plus we got Rankle's Prank, which it's probably the sweetest synergy of this deck. All right, opponent, what do you have? Basic Island. Boo. Boo to you, Basic Island player. This better not be Mono Blue. Okay. Just Azorius, that's fine. Well, Regular Raid, ping ya. Run out the Greedy Freebooter. We want to counter that, that is fine. So is our opponent control? I guess these are control colors, right? Could be soldiers, but soldiers should have played something by now. Ooh, Faithful Mending. Okay, okay. Probably not normal control, at least. Normal control, oh. Oh, all right, this has got to be some sort of artifact reanimator deck then. Portal to Phyrexia discarded off Faithful Mending. That's kind of a giveaway. Get him for 1 with the greediest of freebooters. Down to 19. And I think we're just going to sack it to try to hit our lands. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, we already got a Bloodletter. I think we got to put this one to the bottom. Well, so we got Bloodletters for days. The problem is, do Bloodletters for days be a reanimated portal? We're going to pitch that Arrogant Outlaw. We'll see if it works, but like in theory, we can run out Bloodletter and just smash you. Like we can win this game really quickly. All right, Archaeologist going to do some milling. The question's going to be, do they have removal and do they have reanimation? So our opponent, they seem like maybe they're blue-white control that's also reanimating. So it's going to be less controlling, I would assume. Oh, it's got to be Esper, right? There's a Pilfer in the graveyard. So it's like Esper control, but also reanimating. Well, I mean, we came here to play Bloodletters. Menace in. Ooh, hit you for 6. Wait, if nothing goes wrong, we win next turn, right? With this Rankle's Prank? Rankle's Prank's 8. Oh, depopulate. Okay. Well, in that case, how do we do this? Bloodletter again. Vampire's Kiss, yep. Down to 9. Double trouble. Make a couple bloods. All right, opponent, you're back on the clock. Do you have another Wrath? I mean, Rankle's Prank by itself puts our opponent to 1 here. Oh, come on, no reanimation. 5 mana is where the... Well, I guess there's Abulio's Awakening now, which is 4 mana. But 5 mana is kind of like the sweet... Oh, another prank. Oh, Wandering Emperor. How do we play around Wandering Emperor? Do we even attack? Yeah, no attacks. I think that was a little punt there. I think we should have probably just pre-combat main phase Rankle's Prank. If our opponent counters it, then they can't Wandering Emperor. Down to 1. We need any single point of damage. Faithful Mending. Opponent draws some cards. Are they saying oops because we could have attacked there? Did they not have Wandering Emperor? I don't know. 4 open mana in a white deck in Standard. How do you swing into that in good faith? 2 Faithful Mendings means our opponent's back up to 5, which means if they can reanimate that portal, get rid of the Bloodletter, Rankle's Prank only puts our opponent to 1. We're one point of damage short. Opponent discards. Come on, no reanimation. Oh, passing? Not reanimating? Okay, opponent has not found it. Well, let's discard this Go for the Throat, since our opponent apparently is not ever going to play creature. Hopeless Nightmare. Hopeless Nightmare would be the best. Okay, Swamp. Okay, but Reckoner Raid. Ooh, that actually also works, right? So Reckoner Raid. Burn you for 2. Opponent, Faithful Mending. Are we going to end up 1 short again? The life gain from these Faithful Mendings actually really matters here. Like, surprisingly matters. Opponent discards. Well, burn you for 2. Down to 5. We just pre-combat it, right? Yeah. Discard. Lose 4 life. Opponent says good game. Does that mean we win or they win? Oh, all right. Oh, the combo. Bloodletter of Aclazotz, Rankle Prank coming through. Now, our Soul Guide Lantern sideboard plan is going to actually pay off. I feel like Soul Guide Lantern is going to be... Yeah, we're going to go down these Go for the Throats. And what else do we cut? I feel like Soul Guide Lantern might be a sideboard staple. We'll see. We'll see if the Goyf deck catches on, or a Descend deck. Like, if those decks catch on, I'm glad we have them this match, though, against Reanimator. Like, that's our ace in the hole. Well, let's run it like that. Duress is in, Soul Guide's in. Do a little trimming. Scary matchup. You know what our opponent's trying to do, and you know if they get a one with a multiverse or a portal, they probably beat us. Our mono black deck is not going to get those off the battlefield, so we either need to win quickly or stop them from reanimating. Those are our two relatively realistic plans. Double Mishra's Foundry means we need another black source for Bloodletter, but is Hopeless Nightmare a downside in this deck? Are we just going to let our opponent discard their reanimation target? Well, there's a Swamp. So I will say, you might be thinking, oh, Hopeless Nightmare, like, we're going to play the Raid Reckoner here because it's better, but I don't think it's worth holding on to things like Hopeless Nightmare in hopes of playing them after Bloodletter, at least not on turn 1. Maybe if it's like turn 4 or something, then sure, like, play the Bloodletter first, but I think we just trust that we're going to draw into more burn after we get Bloodletter down. Opponents. All right. Yep. More Swamps. Well, play the Foundry, play the Hopeless Nightmare, come on. No big bomb in the graveyard. 1 with the multiverse. Okay, maybe we did help. Maybe we did help our opponent. All right, opponent plays a Murex, Chromho Seed Shark. Rankle's Prank, but we can't cast it yet. Yeah, we cut a lot of our removal. The Seed Shark might go off here. Thankfully, our opponent doesn't actually have blue mana. They had the 1 turn blue mana from the Murex. I mean, we might actually be... Well, let's scry and see what we find. We might be just fire off this Rankle's Prank. Wow, 2 more lands. Okay, those are going bottom. Another land. Well, I think at this point, we actually sack, lose life, and discard 2. Get rid of everything. And we're gonna hope to ride these. We're gonna hope to ride these Mishra's Foundries. I guess it technically would have been better to attack for 2. Oops. Oops. We'll see if that 2 damage comes back to bite us. I mean, one of my theories for YouTube videos is I gotta give y'all something to yell about in the chat. There needs to be something to comment about. So that's my justification. I don't know what we dress here. They have 2 reanimation spells. We're definitely not putting the portal in the graveyard. I guess repair and recharge. I mean, we're mostly, wow, that 2 points of damage might actually matter. So opponent goes to 9. We play another Foundry. Once our opponent draws blue mana. All right. Greedy freebooter. Oh, fire up the Foundry. If we lose by 2, then that's on me, because we could have had 2 extra points of damage. Opponent, Faithful Mending. This should find our opponent a land, and then they get to reanimate something. So we get to hit you for 4. Down to 6. Oh, this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. No land. How about no land? If they did, we are super in trouble. All right, there's a land. There's the invasion. I assume you go one with the multiverse here. Well, all right. Nothing good on top of the deck, at least. We could... Kaya on the top of the deck. What are the chances? Wow, that went bad in a hurry. All right, well, I guess those 2 points of damage didn't matter in the end. Oh, Kaya. Yeah, Kaya's insane there. You don't see it that much because it's 7 mana, but comes down, opponent gains 3, so we can't kill him. And then they have one with the multiverse. They have another. They're just like so set at that point. Like, we got close, but we're not really. So in the late game, this deck, we really need to have our opponent low enough that we can get him with a burn spell, basically. Like, that's the TLDR, and we didn't quite get there. Plus, I mean, Kai on top of the deck, seriously. That's like probably one of the best free spells our opponent could have. Well, we're gonna play first. Okay, this time we got the Soul Guide Lantern, which is huge. I think we lead on the Hopeless Nightmare. Hopefully our opponent discards a big reanimation target and then we just snipe it. Or they discard an Archaeologist for no reason. Well, Soul Guide Lantern. The feeling of safety against Reanimator when you have Graveyard Hate on the battlefield. Nothing can go too wrong as long as we have the Soul Guide Lantern. We also have double Bloodletter, which is kind of a really fast clock. Should we be able to draw another land? I mean, I'm sure our opponent has a plan for Soul Guide Lantern. They have to, right? There's no way you play Reanimator and don't have another Archaeologist and don't have an answer to Soul Guide Lantern. Mills 3 lands. We draw another greedy freebooter. I think we actually chump attack here. Would you like to give us a treasure, please? All right. Opponent says no. Well, we'll pass the turn. Gets in for 1. Sure. And, ooh, temporary lockdown. All right, that is an answer. There's no point in exiling the graveyard, right? It's just lands. I guess we just sack Soul Guide Lantern to draw. I think draw 1 is better than scry 2. Well, okay. Go Bloodletter, and there's the Rankles prank. If our stuff sticks, that is a clock. Opponent, land, passes. Wandering Emperor is a problem. We do have Fanatical Offering, so we can, I mean, it's very painful to have to sack a Bloodletter, but we can sack it to fizzle if we have to. I think we attack. I think we have to attack. Do you have it? All right, Wandering Emperor, sure. So we knew this was a possibility. I assume they try to snipe it. We will Fanatical Offering. Much more fun when we're sacking greedy freebooters, but run out of freebooter and run out of Hopeless Nightmare. I mean, there is a world where we can just Rankles prank away our opponent's entire hand. Discards a, wow, like Crumbo. What is their hand if they're discarding the Seed Shark? That seems like exactly the kind of card you'd want. Takes it up. We draw Swamp. So there's no reanimation target in the graveyard yet. We can Wrath our opponent's hand. We'll lose a Bloodletter. We could try to wait a turn. I think we map first, because if we hit a non-land, like Rankles Prank, actually, do we even want to kill the Wandering Emperor? I mean, we have to. This does mean they could theoretically reanimate it, but I mean, if we Rankles Prank, hit you to 9, no cards in hand, top deck Rankle's Prank, 8/7, 6/5, 4/3. We gotta try to do our Bloodletter thing. They shouldn't be able to reanimate here, right? There's nothing, I guess they could reanimate a Wandering Emperor, but there's nothing huge in the graveyard to reanimate. And Rankle's Prank becomes even better once we have Bloodletter out. Like, Rankle's Prank's 8 with a Bloodletter out, which is absurd. Opponent Mirix. And, all right, they do reanimate, but it's just a Wandering Emperor. What do they do with it? Gonna snipe the, all right, they snipe the freebooter, sure. That is a little annoying because we would have liked to Fell Stinger it, but I think we can ignore the Wandering Emperor this turn. I think we just, each player lose 4, except our opponent actually loses 8. And yeah, let's just go face. Like, what can they do with this Wandering Emperor anyway? Like, make a 2/2? And we have another Rankle's Prank in hand. Opponent, you better do something big because this Rankle's Prank is going to finish it out. Opponent's deck looks interesting. There is a lot of reanimation for artifacts and enchantments in Standard. Opponent takes up the Wandering Emperor. Sure. GG. Blackburn. Bloodletter. Rankle's Prank. Opponent. Best of the turn. Ooh, Duress is good. This means we don't accidentally get blown out by another Wandering Emperor. Oh, double Kaya, but we're fast enough. Our opponent can't get it down. And Prankia for 8 more, and that'll do it. That'll do it, and that is Budget Blackbird in Standard. That actually felt pretty good. That felt really good. Sweet, 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 sweet. Budget Magic time. We are playing some 14 rare $80. Oh god. Not gonna keep that one. Mono Black Bird in Standard. Yeah, let's just go Hopeless Nightmare. Get down the freebooter. Let's see what our opponent's up to. Sand really would like us to draw a couple lands. Well, okay. Hopeless Nightmare returns. Reckoner Raid. Bang ya. Hit ya. Down to 18. Okay, so some sort of Demir deck. Enigma Jewel. Okay, that's some spice. Well, we drew a land, although tempting to fire up the Foundry. They could have cut down, though, and that's a blowout. Let's just get in with the freebooter. Down to 16. Hopeless Nightmare. Make you discard. Plays a land, passes. What are they doing with Enigma Jewel? The Celestis. Well, ooh, I like Fellstinger here. Fellstinger is actually kind of perfect. Well, get in with a freebooter. Hit you down to 13. Fellstinger stacking freebooter. So Fellstinger is in the deck to be a burn spell when we need it to be, but it's also a good way to hit our land drops. Sacking old Greedy. We will draw. We will first scry and make a treasure. Opponent's gonna kill the Fellstinger, sure. Yeah, I think we put Reckoner Raid to the bottom. We really we gotta hit a... Okay. Still no swamp. Oh, we really want to get down this Bloodletter. Celestis. Celestis is gonna get annoying, isn't it? Oh, it's just gonna keep doing this forever. Well, there's a swamp. I guess Wandering Emperor works with Enigma Jewel. So far, like, we haven't seen... Like, I don't know what they're doing with this Enigma Jewel, honestly. All right, opponent. Yup. Well, they're tapped out, so here comes the Bloodletter. If we get to untap with it, sweet things should happen. Wow, opponent just cashes in the Wandering Emperor to make a 2/2. That might mean they have another one. Well, Fanatical Offering helps a bit. Yeah, let's Vampire's Kiss pre-combat. Void Rend. All right, Crim. Sack the Bloodletter. Make a map. Draw some cards. Well, there's all of our lands. Well, let's play the Swamp. This is going to be the Zealous is OP. This is what, the third loot/life gain? Gets in for 2. Celestis. Why does the Celestis not see more play? Like, it's kind of going off. Ooh, another Fanatical Offering is nice. Being able to sack artifacts is huge because we can cash in, like, blood tokens. I think we have to start attacking with Mishra's Foundry. So we attack with Mishra's Foundry. If they block, we can pump with another Mishra's Foundry. We can also map here to just try to make it a 3/3 if we hit a non-land. All right, Fellstinger, sure. I mean, Fellstinger can always exploit itself if we need to. Get in. Hope there's not another Wandering Emperor. Okay, that's another Wandering Emperor. I mean, we do have the Fanatical Offering. Maybe they get greedy and try to pump. Ooh, okay. Well, this worked out about as good as it could. So now we get to kill the token. Hit you to 13. I mean, they still have a Wandering Emperor on 4, which is not ideal. Opponent token passes. There's the Fellstinger. And let's fire up the Foundry. We have to go after the Wandering Emperor, right? It doesn't feel great. We'd like to be killing our opponent, but I think we just have to get this off the battlefield. 3 more 2/2s is too much. Again, Joe. Oh boy. Okay, well, yeah, sag it. Draw a couple cards, make a map. Well, there goes one of the Foundries. Hopeless Night. Oh, we can get our opponent down to 1 card in hand. I wish we still had our Bloodletter. I guess this is basically Esper control. What is the Enigma Jewel doing though? Opponent. I mean, I guess it lets you shift Night today with Celestis. But so far, wow, upticks gets in. Sure. The Celestis, I think would our opponent be dead if it wasn't for Celestis? It would be very close. Maybe our opponent's actually the Celestis deck. Like, maybe that is their main game plan, because this thing is like, it's going off twice every turn cycle. They're not even really looting with it, though, is the funny part. Like, even if your hand is good, I mean, I guess if you have literally your 2 best cards, even in that case, wow. All right, Rankle's Prank, hit you to 9. Pass the turn. Passes. Let's play the land. Do we just Rankle's Prank again? I think our opponent would definitely be dead if it wasn't for all the life gain from the Celestis. The Celestis life gain is kind of great for our opponent. I don't know what we do here. So we play the Reckoner Raid, hit you to 8. Rankle's Prank. Yeah, let's go all modes. We're gonna give it the Fellstinger, but getting rid of our opponent's last 2 cards seems worth it. So opponent's at 4 for now. They make a Murex token that doesn't really. The Celestis. So much life gain. Opponent makes another 2/2. Can we find a way to close this out? Opponent hits us. I mean, we got a little filtering, which is nice. We're also down to 9. Siphon Insight. Yeah. They could hit life gain out of our deck. We do have life gain in our deck. Ooh, that's actually a really good hit. We drop to 7. We draw land. We gain back 1. Opponent goes to 6. Well, blood away the swamp. Oh no, are we going to lose this? Go for the throw. All right, well, pass the turn. So we can go for the throw something. We can Mishra's Foundry block if we... Celestis. Ban it. Too good. Too good. I swear our opponents gained 10 life. I think it's actually... If I went back and counted, I think they've actually gained 10 life off of having the Celestis out. Which is the difference between our opponent being dead and alive here. Opponent pumps on the token. Fire up the Foundry. So I think we block the 1/1, kill the 3/3, block the 1/1, kill the 3/3, drop to 5. How do we win from here, though? I mean, we're going to get a 2/2. All right, Siphon Insight. We stop stealing our life gain opponent. They also gain 2 from the Arrogant Outlaw. Tithing. Ooh, Tithing Blade away our Foundry. Okay. Wait, but we finally get rid of the... Do we finally get rid of the Wandering Emperor? Maybe? Well, fire up. Let's map. We really need a non-land so we can kill the Wandering Emperor. That's a land. Okay, well. Opponent's down to 1 card in hand. We've gotten through both halves of... We're going to hold on to the land for blood purposes. We've gone through both halves of the Siphon Insight. That's good. Go for the throat, sure. But our opponent's back up to 8. 8 is a lot. Well, block with greeds. We get a scry out of it. And a treasure, which is sort of relevant. Well, we don't want another swamp, that's for sure. Celestis. Back up to 9. Celestis is the card of this game. There's no doubt about it. Like, Celestis is the card that is... I mean, we're not dead, necessarily. So we go up to 6. We can use our blood. Get rid of this land. Come on. Hopeless Nightmare. Yeah, let's just Hopeless Nightmare. Get rid of our opponent's last card. Hit you to 6. It was a Path of Peril. Sack the treasure. Fire up the Foundry. Finally get rid of this Wandering Emperor. Celestis. We need a Celestis counter. We need a Celestis counter from this match. Seriously. Opponent hits us. Celestis. Sweet mother. All right. Well, we need to hit it. We're going to scry here. We need a removal spell. Worst case, I guess we can land Chump Block, which isn't great, but, well, bottom. We're going full greed. That actually, oh, that doesn't do it because of Mirrex. We lost to Celestis. Yeah, the Mirrex token is lethal and we're tapped out. The Celestis went off. We got to go back and count that because that was a ridiculous amount of life gain. It was like 10, maybe more. This hand looks pretty good. Freebooter. Oh, opponent's mulliganing. Freebooter into Vampire's Kiss, into Arrogant Outlaw, into Bloodletter. Burn ya out. Well, play the land. Run out the Freebooter. Opponent, tap land. Ooh, and the prank too. Well, play the land. Give you a little kiss. Down to 18. Freeboot you. Down to 17. All right. Land. Ooh, Reckon Raid too. Well, boot you. Down to 16. Land. Arrogant Outlaw. Down to 14. I mean, we're burning them. We're burning them. That's turn 3. Opponent's down to 14. Phone it. Land. And not a Celestis. Thank goodness. Down to 10. I think we just fell Stinger. Sack the Freebooter. Oh, this is going very well. Draw a couple cards. We could burn our opponent here, but I don't think it's time yet. We definitely want the land. 2 lands is also fine. Well, Kaiba Reckon Raid. Opponent's going to negate. Sure. Feels like our opponent was going to negate anything they could possibly negate there. Because Reckon Raid's not, I mean, it's fine, but it's not busted. Let's just attack. We could play the Bloodletter first. Okay. I mean, I think we'll leave it on top. Worst case, we can use it to burn our opponent. Opponent goes to 7. We're going to Rankle's Prank. Get rid of our opponent's last 2 cards. We can discard these extra lands. And that was farewell. Thank goodness. And opponent scoops it up. And that went way better. It really is all about the Celestis, isn't it? It's really all about the Celestis. Like, the Celestis is the card that was the difference. In game 1, the Celestis went off. And our opponent was able to gain like a roughly infinite amount of life. This game, no Celestis. We just burn them out super easily. Like, that is a really, really huge difference. Opponents on the play. Do they draw Celestis? That is the real question. Well, I mean, this is a keep, I think. It's land heavy, but at least 2 of the lands are Foundries. Opponent, tap land. Wow, 3 of the lands are Foundries. Opponent, tap land. Well, run out the Foundry. And pass the turn. Opponent, Deserted Beach. Well, Freebooter is actually kind of nice. I think we wait, though. We could run it out here. Next turn, we can run it out and immediately sack it if we want to. Mirrex and passes. Well, Duress is pretty good. I think we gotta Duress him. All right, opponent negates. Well, now we'll run out the Freebooter. Run out the Swamp. Nice thing about Freebooter is, do you really want to spend a removal spell on it? Probably not. It's a 1/1 that actively wants to die. Like, it's at its best when it's dying. Another Duress. Does this one resolve? Kaya, well, God. Such a blue-white control hand. I guess Esper, technically. We're going to take the Kaya. I don't like the amount of cards our opponent can draw. Opponent down to 19. Well, let's Fellstinger. Sack the Freebooter. Opponent's gonna go digging with the Memory Deluge. We really need some hits off this Freebooter here. Ooh, do they? All right. So opponent finds a cut down for the Freebooter. I guess we keep the Vampire's Kiss. The blood token. So 2 damage, not absurd here, but The 2 blood tokens are nice in a world where we've kind of flooded. Hopeless Nightmare, make you discard. I mean, at least our opponent's hand's not very good. The Sun Falls, we got no creatures, so they don't really do much. They do have more card draw, though, which is awkward. This might be another swamp. Well, we really need, yeah, let's fire up this Foundry. If our opponent tries to block with their land, we can Sheoldred's Edict it. Quick Study, draw 2. Yeah, I guess we pump. Is Foundry Tron enough to beat this control deck? Okay, Siphon Insight. I was afraid it was going to be a Wandering Emperor, but Wandering Emperor, boy, that card's so good. Okay, they steal a Ukaiba Reckoner Rage, sure. Opponent, gonna pass. I mean, we have all the lands in the world. Opponent has a single blue source. Is it worth bloodletting? So we play Bloodletter, double Vampire Kiss. I mean, I think we go for it. Play the Bloodletter. Play the Swamp. Vampire's Kiss, yeah. Another negate. Okay. They might have to Sunfall away our Bloodletter. I don't know if we can close this out or not. I feel like we have nothing going on, and our opponent has a handful. We do have the Bloodletter at the moment, but I mean, our opponent has so much card draw. Opponent, Rankle's Prank. This does get rid of our, that's a risky play. That gets rid of our opponent's last 2 cards. They Siphon Insight. Thankfully, we're playing a budget deck, so hopefully they can't steal anything too good. Another Bloodletter. Oh god, okay. Play the Bloodletter. Fire up the... Is there a chance we steal this? Is there a chance we actually beat this control deck? Hit ya. Double damage. Down to 11. Come on. Hold, Bloodletter, hold. Is there a chance we felt so far out of this Siphon Insight. Desperation. Thankfully, our deck shouldn't have too many answers. Are they passing? Oh, goodness. Okay, Fanatical Offering. Well, we're going to fire up the Foundry. The creature land's also tapped. I mean, we got to go for it. Fire up the Foundry. Opponent has one of our cards, one of their cards. Oh my god. Down to 3. Pass it. Oh, we're going to get there. Wow. Well, I mean, I guess sometimes your opponent draws all the cards and it doesn't matter. But we can fizzle it. This hurts a lot, but yeah, sack the treasure, sack the Bloodletter, fizzle the life gain. Does Rankle's Prank do it? They do get to Hopeless Nightmare Fellstinger. They can gain life with their creature land, maybe? Oh, Rankle's Prank, make us discard. It's going to come down to this map flip. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we just need a burn spell. Any burn spell. If we don't find a burn spell, we can keep a land. Wow, that is so awkward. Mishra's Foundry. Not enough, man. We found the prank, but we gotta wait a turn. The awkward part about this, we have to hit face. Because our opponent can gain 2 with their creature land. And then hopefully this Rankle's Prank opponent fires it up. Did they draw a negate? That's going to be the question. That is going to be the one and only question. Opponent. If we went with a map plan, it would have worked. Hits us. But I think this is going to work. It's just going to take 1 extra turn. We go to 10. Opponent go, oh no. Okay, we drew a land. Okay, that should be fine. Wow. The Vampire's Kiss would have put them out of Rankle's Prank Rage. But because we hit the land, we can Mishra's Foundry. Unless this card is cut down. What a game. What a ridiculous game. Oh my goodness. This was a wild game. Get in. Hit ya. Down to 3. And then Prank should take care of the rest. Down to 3. And play the land. Prank ya. And what a game. What a close game. Well, Blackbird, Budget Blackbird. Sweet. What you doing, baby? We will play first, and all right, that sounds fine. No Bloodletter, but we got stuff we can do early. Rankle's Prank. has been very impressive, actually, in this deck. What are you up to, opponent? What are you up to? Discards an island, sure. Uh-oh, plays an island. Well, let's run out the freebooter. Ugh, mono blue. Such an annoying... Please don't be mono blue. Oh, it's looking like mono blue. Mono blue is such an obnoxious deck to play against. I mean, maybe we just attack 18 times with greedy freebooter. I mean, you can't counter a freebooter that's already on the battlefield. Maybe it's not mono blue. I don't know. That's a lot of islands to not be mono blue. I do like this Wild Eldarian battlefield. I will say, as much as so Arena, obviously... They've really started slacking with voiceovers, animations, really slacking with that. But the battlefield design, I think, has kept improving. I think the battlefield design keeps getting better and better. So I'll give them credit for that. What are you doing, Bearby? I know, mono blue. No one likes a mono blue. No. All right, sack the Hopeless Nightmare. Do we want any of these? I don't even know if we want any of these. I guess the Vampire's Kiss, the blood tokens. Half the value of Vampire's Kiss is the blood tokens let us filter away bad draws, which is actually very, very relevant. So I think we might be able to set up a scenario where maybe we can get some blood tokens on the battlefield, use Rankle's Prank to maybe get rid of our opponent's hand, and then go from there. Well, hit you to 16. Vampire's Kiss. Down to 14, couple blood tokens. This Mishra's Foundry might be pretty relevant this matchup. Well, we'll pass the turn. Opponent gonna do some impulsing, sure. You know they got a bunch of counters in hand. That's kind of mono blue. We'd love to somehow have them play Honeyjin and then we Rankle's Prank it, but okay, there's Honeyjin. The problem is, they're gonna counter it. The way people play mono blue, you're not gonna run out your Honeyjin without having counter backup. We will untap another swamp. I mean, we gotta go for it. What else are we gonna do? Lose 4, sack 2. How's about no counter? Negate. Well, that was expected. Still hurts, but it was expected. Shouldn't Honeyjin have rotated by now? Such a fast clock, too. Untap. Well, Fanatical Offering's nice. Yeah, I think we just Rankle's Prank. Worst case, if this resolves, life is good. If this doesn't resolve, we can sack a blood token to try to draw cards. I mean, I have very little faith in this resolve. Flow of Knowledge. Draw infinite. Okay. Fading Hopes. Sack the freebooter. So it's very awkward. So we're going to get a treasure. Unfortunately, our opponent ended up not countering, which is so awkward. So we're going to have to discard the cards we just threw into, which is very, very, very awkward situation. Our opponent also has to discard, but they still have the Honeyjin, which is the big issue. Yeah, the Fading Hope actually worked out worse for us, I think, than if they just countered it. We kind of pranked ourselves a little bit here. Rankle would be proud, I guess, but still. All right, opponent untaps. We know they still have Honeyjin. Although... maybe they don't have a... oh, boy. Oh, geez. Okay. Rankle's Prank. We'll scoop it up. Mono blue. Oh, mono blue. I should like mono blue because it's a good budget deck, but I hate playing against it. All right, so we're going to bring in Duresses. We're going to bring in as much instant speed removal as we can. We're going to trim back on sorcery speed removal. So the best way to fight mono blue is we need to be able to pressure our opponent's threats at instant speed. So, I mean, there's two ways. One is just be super aggro. If we can just go 1-drop, 2-drop, curve out, get in under the counters. Mono blue is not that great at dealing with stuff on the battlefield. So that's one way. Way number 2 is have your interaction be instant speed. So... when your opponents, on their turn, you can pressure their threats with your removal to make them tap their mana during your turn, and then hopefully let you resolve stuff during your turn. Yeah, I think we mulligan. Well, actually, this is close. Yeah, I think we mulligan. We really would like a more aggro draw. This, I think, is actually better than our last one. We put Prank to the bottom. So we can turn 1 Reckoner Raid, turn 2 Duress, and then just start firing up Foundries. I think that's probably our most realistic plan. Let's actually lead on Duress. Okay, so opponent's hand, a counter, 2-card draw spells, no threats. Flow of Ideas is the more powerful one, but it's also slower. Yeah, let's take the Thirst for Discovery. Land for our opponent. All right, another removal spell. We'll run out the Reckoner Raid. And here comes the beatdowns. Opponent land and passes. Wow, triple Foundry. Run out the Foundry. Fire up the Foundry. Hopefully they didn't draw Fading Hope. That would be annoying. Okay, Consider. That's fine. That's not a Fading Hope. Mills a Negate. So ideally we kill our opponent before Flow of Ideas comes down. I don't know if that's actually realistic, but we get to flip the Reckoner Raid. Play the land. I mean, we're going to be firing up these Foundries. Yes, there are ways that it could go wrong, but... Opponent, Impulse, goes digging. Island for opponent, and Haughty. Well, Haughty, we do have Menace on our 2-2. Play the Foundry. Do we just wait? Maybe it's better to just wait. Yeah, let's go for the throw. We need to get in this damage because we know our opponent's going to refill. We know they're going to refill with this Flow of Ideas, so we really need to pressure now. Opponent make disappears. That's fine. We can pay. Kind of a weird make disappear. I guess our opponent figures are going to refill their hand anyway, so we get rid of the Haughty. This does mean we don't get to attack with the Mishra's Foundry, so it kind of saved our opponent 2 life. Island for our opponent. Vampire Kiss. Well, I think we want to cast a spell here because we would like our opponent to counter it. Or if they counter it, it costs them Flow of Ideas. Opponent, down to 8, Fell Stinger. Would you like to counter this? Now, opponent's set on this Flow of Ideas. They want to refuel. We're not gonna sack. We're just gonna leave this on the battlefield. And opponent gets a new hand, essentially. Can we just kill them, though? Like, we might just have enough Tolarian Terror. Opponent passive. Ooh, Rankle's Prank. Let's Shield or its Edict. Each opponent sack a non-token creature. Okay, Impulse. Looking for the counter. We might actually get this one. Wow, they let it go. Okay, well, fire up a Foundry. Hit you to 1? I mean, this is where Mono Blue can struggle. We're at 24. Our opponent's theoretically about to go to 1. All right, they Fading Hope. So opponent goes to 4? Also Fading Hope. Okay, so opponent goes to 6. Bounces all of our stuff. But yeah, being behind on the battlefield is where Mono Blue struggles the most. There's a Haughty. 1 card in hand. Oh, Rankle's Prank would be so sweet if it resolved. We drew so many colorless lands here. Let's activate a Blood, discard Bloodletter. This is not a Bloodletter game. Okay, maybe it is a Bloodletter game. We can't even cast the Bloodletter at the moment. Play the Reckoner Raid. Opponent does not counter. So I think we're just going to rebuild our board from last turn, essentially. Play the Fell Stinger. Opponent shouldn't be able to kill us. Like, they only have a single Haughty. They have 1 card in hand. Oh no. Oh, that's not great. They have 6 cards in hand. Flow of Knowledge, jeez. Tolarian Terror. Opponent's feeling frisky. Tolarian Terror. 3 cards in hand. Rankle's Prank is lethal, but our opponent, they're Mono Blue. Is there any way we can bait them? We just gotta go for it. Rankle's Prank. Do you have a counter, Mono Blue? 3 cards, 6 lands. This is it. This is the game. It all comes down to this. Opponent. Impulse. Okay, that's not a counter. Looking for a counter. 4 cards deep. Do they find one? Consider. Okay, no. Is this going to work? Are they just going to not have a counter? Oh my God, they never. Sometimes they don't have it, I guess. Thirst for Discover. They have seen like 10 cards. There is no way they did not find a counter. Are we going to steal this? Rankle's Prank? Opponent discards a land. Oh, scoops it up. And they scoop it up. Wow. Wait, they impulsed into Consider. into Thirst. That's so many cards. 4, 5, 6. They saw like 8 cards. And that was after the flow of knowledge to draw a new hand. How do they not have a counter after all that? How is that even possible? Okay, well, I mean, we're not going to complain. We're not going to complain. Sometimes they don't have it. Even Mono Blue. Even Mono Blue sometimes doesn't have it. And that time they didn't, and that was good. Well, on to game 3. Can we actually beat Mono Blue? Oh, that would make me so happy. As much as I hate losing to Mono Blue, or even just playing against Mono Blue, it does feel good to beat it once in a while. I mean, this is a pretty good hand against Mono Blue. We got the Reckoner Raid, so we have an early threat. We have a removal spell for the Hautisian, a Fanatical Offering to draw some cards. Opponent, play your island. Yeah. Imagine that, an island. Well, let's land and, okay, but Reckoner Raid. Burn you down to 19. Opponent, island. Ooh, Rankle's Prank. Well, I mean, we saw the power of the prank last game. Would like to draw some Duresses. Some Duresses would be nice. Well, play the land, run out the Fellstinger. I'm not sure if we actually sack here if it resolves. We might just... Alright, opponent counters it anyway. I think it would be better just to leave it as a 3-2 Death Toucher. Opponent, land passes. Go to combat, hit ya. What are they gonna... Fading Hope or something? Alright, opponent takes it to 16. I guess we just pass. There's for discovery. Opponent's gonna draw some cards. Yeah, Duress would be super nice just to know what's going on over there. Try to clear the way for a Rankle's Prank, maybe. Passes. Well, we draw Swamp. Down to 14. I mean, we are slowly eating away our opponent's life total. Very, very slowly, but we are doing it. Flow of Knowledge is such a demoralizing amount of card advantage. So it's like, I mean, I guess they only end up positive 3 cards. Kind of 2. Oh, there's a Haunting. Well, we do have some tools to fight a battle over it. Go for the throw, it. Wow, opponent just lets it go. Okay. That was easier than I thought. At what point does our opponent decide, okay, Fading Hope. I guess we just let this go. Sure, opponent gets to scry to the top. Replay the Reckoner Raid. And, yeah, I think we prank. Each player loses 4. We're not even making you discard your precious cards, just a little off the top. All right, opponent make disappears. Well, it got a counter out of our opponent's hand. We would have rather had it resolve, but Tolarian Terror. Opponent passes. Now play the Swamp, Rankle's Prank. Each player sacks, each player loses 4. This time make disappear doesn't get us. Oh, okay, Fading Hope. Okay, that's actually kind of okay. I mean, we would have rather gotten rid of the terror, but we hit our opponent to 8. Our opponent apparently didn't have a counter in hand, because it's way more likely they just counter if they could, right? Tolarian Terror returns. Opponent passes. Fellstinger. Well, we get to flip the Saga. Now what? This is actually close. We actually have a chance somehow until our opponent finds Flow of Knowledge. Then that chance. I mean, last game they had Flow of Knowledge and we still got them. So I guess it's not just game over necessarily. I don't know what to do here. So we can Fellstinger. Think if it resolves, we do sack. I think we need the cards. Yeah, you know what? I think we don't. The combination of Menace and Death Touch means we could... Oh, come on. Oh, they always have it. Oh, that's a big one. Flow of Ideas, draw 8. Well, opponent literally has a new hand. I mean, I guess that's the reason to play Mono Blue, right? Is you get this ridiculous instant speed card draw spell. This is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. So we have a Menacer. We have a Death Toucher. We have Rankle's Prank. If we can get in one attack in Rankle's Prank, just how do we resolve anything against our opponent? 9 mana, full hand. There's the Hautisian. Okay. Tolarian Terror. Okay. No attacks. Well, go for the throat. Slip out the back. Okay, maybe they don't have a counter. Do some attacking. Blocks. No. We have Menace, but Menace. They lose a terror, but we're still, I mean, we gotta try it. It's not lethal, but We gotta go for it, right? We can Fanatical Offering first. Hopeless Nightmare. Okay, we have a shot. We have a shot. Hopeless Nightmare. Oh my goodness, it's gonna come down to, do they have a counter? Can we black burn out mono blue? Hopeless Nightmare. Opponent goes to 4. It all comes down to this. It all comes down to this Rankle's Break resolving. Opponent discards a card draw spell. I mean, what else can we do? What else can we do? We just gotta fire it off, right? I mean, we likely die on the backswing if we don't. Hope you don't have it. Rankle's Break. Sack him. Discard him. None of it matters. This is a game. All in this spell. Do you have a counter, mono blue? Do you have a counter? Opponent. Thirst. Oh my god, they don't have it? They don't have it? No, come on. Come on. Oh my god, and it had to be Spell Pierce. Oh, so close. I mean, only 2 lands, but we have a Fanatical Offering, so worst case, I guess we can take a Vron or something. Seems reasonable enough not to have to mulligan. Not a nut draw by any stretch. So this deck, 14 total rares in Mythic, so pretty budget friendly, like $80 in paper. Very curious if this can actually work, because Blackburn has been super fun in older formats. I think Bloodletter of Aclazotz might be the card that makes it possible in Standard, but we'll see. Schwampka, oh god. Oh no. Are we better than a real bird deck? Can our mono Blackburn beat mono red? The true challenge. Well, let's run out Vron. Little obnoxious to have to run that out now. The life gain doesn't trigger it when it dies. Something else needs to die. The life gain would be relevant in this matchup. Charming Scoundrel. Okay, Vron's gonna live. All right, we'll take this. So we take 3 to the face, but this actually works out pretty well because we can just get in with Vron and then get some value out of this Arrogant Outlaw. Well, get in, hit you. Down to 18, Arrogant Outlaw, the ever underrated Arrogant Outlaw. Drain you for 2, back up to 18. You know what's actually super annoying is the exile mode on this Etchings. Such a random throwaway line of text, but it's, oh no, Godric. Oh, and it's a 4/4 because of Etchings, oh god, yeah. Well, we're gonna block this Charming Scoundrel. Sadly, we don't get a Vron trigger because of Etchings exiling our stuff. I don't think we can just take the damage. Down to 12. If we hit a land, down to 11, well, there's a Foundry. Smack you for 2, and then, I mean, we definitely need to Rankle Prank Sacrifice, I think, right? Is there any way to avoid it? It would be so greedy. We could Hopeless Nightmare Fellstinger. This is definitely the greedy mode, but they could just have another Godric anyway. Play this, make you discard, burn ya. Play the Fellstinger, no sack. I mean, as long as our opponent can't celebrate here, we can just trade the Fellstinger with the Godric, and that's pretty good. The problem with the Rankle's Prank is we'd rather get more cards out of hand. We might be able to set up the full... Oh god. Oh, that's not good. Oh boy. All right, we might have got a little punished for our greed. Down to 4. Okaiba Reckoner Raid. That's not enough. I think we're dead now. Well, Reckoner Raid. Pass the turn and die? We do have the Mishra's Foundry that can jump block. Yeah, we might have got too greedy. I wanted to get full value out of the Rankle's Prank so we could make our opponent sack and discard their hand, but I guess we do squee too. Well, all right. I guess if our opponent had squee, it probably didn't matter what we do. We were probably going to lose that game. All right. Well, the good news is we got to be on the play for game number 2, which should be relevant in a aggro matchup. Oh, all right. Double Greedy Freebooter, and Reckoner Raid, and a Vron, and we got the Bloodletter. Well, we got our, I mean, the reason we're playing this deck is Bloodletter of Aclazotz. That is the reason this deck exists. We'll see. I think we get down the Reckoner Raid first. Getting it down early gets the creature mode quicker. Opponent Mountain and phases. Sure. Black Source? All right, Swamp is good. Swamp lets us get a double Greedy Freebooter down, which is nice. And then if one of those dies, we can just ramp into Bloodletter. All right, opponent. What do you got, mono red? Monastery Schwiffspia. I mean, okay, in a phases. I mean, I think we block. We're going to lose the death if they attack, and they do. Okay. I think we block with 1, because we're going to lose the death trigger on this next turn after these flip anyway. This lets us scry. We'll keep the Vampire Kiss. Hopefully Bloodletter having 4 toughness Hopefully that means our opponent can't kill it. Well, we're gonna run out turn 3 Bloodletter, hit ya, double it down to 16, and our opponent's in trouble. Our opponent's already in trouble. Turn 3 Bloodletter Aclazotz is kinda ridiculous. All right, mono red, come on. No 4 damage removal. Oh, that is perfectly fine. Feldon away, my friend. We will even let you hit us. Sure. All right, we will take our beats down to 15. We draw a Fell Stinger. Well, we are going to hit our opponent for a tiny bit of damage here, I think. Bloodletter doubles it, so opponent down to 8. Vampire Kiss. Bloodletter doubles it, so our opponent's down to 4. And our opponent essentially has like 1 turn. We're going to pitch this Fron. It doesn't do anything against his etchings. Ooh, okay. Okaiba Reckoner Raid. That's actually 2 damage next turn. I think we're doing... Who's the burn deck now, mono red? Who's the burn deck now? Even if they can kill the Bloodletter, we probably still just win. If we draw land, for sure. Play with fire, get some triggers. Yup. To the bottom, opponent with the big attack. I mean, we'll just block the Swift Spear. I don't think it actually matters. Yeah, we would have survived anyway. Well, ooh. Oh, we were gonna 4 damage, 1 mana Hopeless Nightmare, and you have to discard. We were so close. I guess these Parasitic Grasp might be worth it. Just a little bit more instant speed removal. Trim. Rankle's Prank is kind of sketch in this matchup. So the thing with Rankle's Prank, we really want the damage mode. That's like kind of the whole gimmick. The other modes are nice bonuses, but like Bloodletter, Rankle's Prank, hit you for 8 is really good. The problem is, against mono red, I don't know if we can afford to take 4 consistently. Well, we beat him on the play. Can we beat him on the draw? That's the real question. Is there any way we beat mono red with budget Blackbird on the double Bloodletter? I mean, we're keeping this. Hopefully we hit lands and get to these Bloodletters. We have stuff we can do early, though. Like Okaiba Reckoner Raid, good on turn 1. All right, opponent has their Saga. Well, opponent did some serious mulliganing. Land is good. Foundry's a little sketch. Hopefully we draw another Black Source for these Bloodletters, but I mean, we can theoretically kill the first 2 things our opponent does, and maybe gain some life with Parasitic. Ooh, another Reckoner Raid. Gain a little life. Always feels good to be above your starting life total against mono red. Let's just pass. We could play the Reckoner Raid. I think it's better to kill whatever they play this turn. Wow, Lightning Strike the face. Sure. Opponent flips the Saga. Land. Godric? Squee. Well, we're definitely going to kill the Squee. Yeah, so kill the Squee. Opponent can hit us for 2. This Etchings is actually human, isn't it? So we can Parasitic Grasp it for 2. It's kind of nice. Opponent gets and hits us down to 16. Vampire's Kiss. Well, I think we just play the land, play the Reckoner Raid. Leave up the Parasitic Grasp. Opponent. Godric, ooh, that is also a human. This Parasitic Grasp is so juicy. Opponent goes attack. Oh, this is the blowout of blowouts. So we get to block, kill the Etchings, and then grasp to get rid of Godric and go back up to 20. Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. And there's a land. Oh, it is Bloodletter time. Bloodletter number 1. Get it down. I think Bloodletter's actually like kind of a very strong card. Double life loss is ridiculous. And it's like a 4/4 flyer essentially on offense. You better have some removal. Charming Scoundrel. I mean, Charming Scoundrel is a great card, but this means our Bloodletter's about to live, and that means our opponent is about to take some serious damage. Makes a treasure for some reason. We draw Swamp. Well, flip the Saga. I think we let's just Vampire Kiss. Burn it to 12. Fire up the Foundry. Opponent. I mean, they might have to chump here. This is 8. They're dropping to 4. Yeah, opponent has to chump. Even if they get back Squee, it just doesn't. We're 23. We're at 23 against mono red. Opponent finds a Foundry. Sure. Even if they get back Squee, it just doesn't matter. Like, worst case, we drop a second Bloodletter, and opponent scoops it up, and Blackbird. Better burn deck, apparently. Got him. Yeah. Sand looks fine. Double Reckoner Raid. We got the Bloodletter. Opponent mulliganing into Oblivion. I think they're at 5 right now. Can we get to 4? Wow, my God, they really did go to 4. And oh boy. All right, well, I feel a little bad for our opponent. Starting with 4 cards on the play is absolutely brutal. Well, we'll play a Reckoner Raid. Why? And we have the land for the Bloodletter. This is going to be a blowout opponent. Ones us. That's another Bloodletter. Yeah, let's just swamp. I don't think we're firing up Foundry in the immediate term. Do you have removal, opponent? All right, Volt Surge. Opponent's down to 1 card in hand, though. Everyone with these faces. So opponent's like, is it aggro? Is it pirates? Is it pirates? I guess we'll find out. Oh, that one was for Tomer. Oh, pass the turn. Get out of another Reckoner Raid. Opponent taking up the Saga. I mean, they gotta have a creature. Okay, I mean, that is a creature. Spyglass Siren. I guess having flying is kind of relevant. That does get an artifact to turn on the Tomb Raider. I think we just take it, though. Like, ooh, and to go for the throw. So we drain for 1. We run out Bloodletter number 1. We menace in for 4. Opponent drops to 11. It just pours on so much damage. The amount of damage that Bloodletter deals is actually kind of ridiculous. Ooh, Subterranean Schooner. Yeah, a little late for that. I wonder if Schooner's actually good. I actually think it's not. I see people like comparing it to Smuggler's Copter. Not having... Oh, no, opponent. Oh, that's not how that works. Vehicles don't have haste. No. In some sense, it doesn't really matter because our opponent was going to get very murdered here anyway. Like, they started with 4 cards. That's the big issue. And we have double Bloodletter, which is also a big issue. Doubling our doublings. They have to block the Saga or else they die. Because I think they're taking 8 from this Bloodletter, right? That's how this should work. You can stack up Bloodletters. Oh, I wish we had a burn spell. Yeah, opponent. The doubling doubles and our opponent's at 2, and yeah, that's another Goblin Guide, but still, that does not beat the Bloodletter of Aclazotz, and opponent scoops it. Okay, I mean, that was kind of a buy, because our opponent did do a lot of mulliganing. Pirates look interesting, though. Like, there are good pirates. The 1-drop, like, a Goblin Guide with no downside is kind of intriguing, although you can't play it on turn 1 and get haste, which is a drawback. Not in standard, at least. We'll just bring in a little bit more removal for aggro. Trim back some expensive stuff. Hoping our opponent keeps a fuller hand this time. Beating opponents on 2 cards, or 4 cards, I guess, but still, like, once you get to 4, your odds of winning are so low. Fanatical Offering. So this works. Vampire's Kiss makes blood tokens. We can sack to the Fanatical Offering. No creatures, so we'll see. And technically no real removal. Hopeless Nightmare has surprised me. That is a card that I did not pay any attention to, and it actually kind of sees a lot of play. Turns out that 2 damage and a discard, apparently worth a card. Opponent discards a pirate. So they are a pirate deck. Pirates are interesting. I haven't really tried pirates yet, but they're on my list. Okay, Schooner. This is where Schooner could be good. This is what you want to do with Schooner. Oh, I think we just Vampire Kiss. We could freeboot her, but then we wouldn't have mana to sack it if they had removal. So this is where Schooner could be good, because now they can play a creature, crew the Schooner, explore with the creature, get in some damage. Like, turn 2 on the play on an empty board. Ooh, Breaches. Breaches probably I was gonna say best pirate, but it might be the second best pirate in standard. The removal one's pretty good. Larcenous is pretty good. So opponent gets in, explores, keeps the Volt Surge. All right, this is kind of looking bad for us. Let's play the Foundry, play Mr. Greedy, and yeah, pass the turn. Ideally, we like block sack, I guess, the Breaches. We gotta draw some, we need to find some removal, really. Our opponent's gotten off to a fat, wow, they're not gonna crew. Okay, they just get in with Breaches. Oh, can't block, okay. Well, our opponent somehow played around the block sack line. They do get in some damage. Is that actually better than making a treasure or drawing a card, though? I feel like, isn't drawing a card just way better there? I guess our opponent wants to be aggro. All right, there's the faces, sure. Funny how strong this card ended up being. Like, faces, how do we want to do this? So we can sack blood to discard lands. We can sack a blood to the Fanatical Offering. Yeah, let's just sack a blood and draw to you. Oh god, that's so many lands. Oh, this is not looking great. Oh boy. Okay, mono black flood. Well, Hopeless Nightmare. I mean, thankfully we do still have a blood token left, and we also have a map token. So we have ways to try to filter, but yeah, this is just so much mana. Yeah, let's blood first. Discard a swamp. I mean, if our freebooter's still around next turn, and I go for the throw, all right. Let's get in, because we're not going to block this turn, because we actually really want to sack this to the Fell Stinger. Oh, how bad does this turn hurt? If our opponent can go Pirate, Crew, and attack with Breaches. Wow, okay. I don't know what our opponent's hand is, but opponent goes card draw mode, hits a, Larcenist. All right. That's actually, okay, that's actually annoying. Wait, they didn't turn that into a treasure? Interesting. Oh, this ward's actually obnoxious here. So if we want to go for the throat it, we can't Fell Stinger it. So I guess, so we could Fell Stinger the freebooter. We'd get a treasure, then we could kill it. Or we could just kill the Breaches. Yeah, I think that's what we're doing. Fell Stinger, sack the greedy freebooter. I guess that qualifies as nice. Scry, treasure, swamp, definitely to the bottom. Draw a couple cards. Another swamp and another freebooter. All right. Yeah, I guess we can run it out. And then just get rid of this Breaches. Well, we'll see. We don't have a way to stop this Larcenist. We're at 8. They get their Saga. We're out of blood tokens to get rid of these lands, unfortunately. We've drawn like twice as many lands as our opponent, at least. See, the problem with the Schooner is, wow, they're going to go for it. The problem with the Schooner is it doesn't fly. So, like, sure, you get in, but then we just get to trade with the Fell Stinger. So it's hard to keep attacking with repeatedly. It's not Smuggler's Copter. All right, opponent has another Schooner. Vampire's Kiss. Well, that does make blood tokens. We really desperately need a removal spell, I think. How about so many freebooters? The freebooters are so bad here too because of this etchings. We're getting wrecked by this etchings. Well, can we find one more freebooter? Freebooter. Oh, Parasitic Grasp. Okay. Yeah, I think we're just dead. Pirates. Now let's bring in the Shieldred's Edicts. Go down a Fell Stinger. Pirates actually look kind of impressive there. I mean, we also drew like infinite lands, so maybe that's the actual issue, that we just like drew so many lands. But Pirates, like, solid curve, some evasion. I don't know about Schooner. Schooner, that was about as good as Schooner could be, I think, and it still was like medium. Although our opponent won, so well, we get to be on the play. Let's play the swamp, play a Reckoner Raid. Land and Siren, sure. Do we swamp or, yeah, let's just Hopeless Nightmare. Hopeless Nightmare, discard so punishing when you already mulligan. Wow, we got a Breaches. That's actually a very good Hopeless Nightmare. Actually got rid of one of our opponent's best cards. Now, play the Foundry, ship the turn. Are we mapping? No. Opponent hits us for 1, passes. Well, more go for the throat's pretty good. Opponent. Probably worth killing while our opponent's tapped out. Yeah, we don't want our opponent to start looting. Plus, I mean, we haven't seen counters, but in theory, our opponent could be playing counters. Probably should be playing counters. Oh boy. The Schooner returns. Opponent gets and hits us. Well, more Reckoner Raids. Yeah, I guess we just run it out. Run it out, Drain. You play a swamp. Fire up the Foundry. I mean, opponent's down to 14, and they don't know about the Rankles prank. It seems like we might be able to get the aggro win. Like, we get to ping them with the Raid Reckoner. We might be able to burn them out. We're getting close. We're getting close to just burning them straight out of the game. Are we schooning it? Can our opponent even afford to? All right, they're going to sack the map. Hit a land. Can they even afford to attack? No. All right, we draw a swamp. Let's just get in with the Menacer. We can't really attack with the Foundry because the Schooner just eats it. So opponent goes to 7. Pass the turn. We can sack the Hopeless Nightmare to do some scrying. Opponent. Oh, more Schooners. I mean, Schooner does get around the go for the throat. We might actually just go for the throat the Siren. If we go for the throat the Siren, they shouldn't be able to crew, right? 2 more removal spells. Shieldred's Edict can get rid of a schooner. So if we like go for the throat here, our opponent would need a flash creature to turn on a schooner, and then we get Shieldred's Edict. And then I guess they turn on the other schooner. I mean, maybe removal's just good enough. Yeah, let's keep one of them. I kind of still just want to draw a burn spell. We're like so close. Like our opponent is at a virtual 1 right now. All right, there's the Edict. So our opponent needs a flash. I mean, they need something, right? Or they're just dead. They really need a flash creature. Oh God. Oh, the best flash creature. Okay. Tidebinder is actually absurd here. Wait, does this make... I mean, we're gonna fire off our Shieldred's Edict. Opponent's gonna crew. Sacks. Well, we get in. This should still be fine, right? Opponent's down to 4. I mean, I guess we have this win in multiple ways. We can attack with 2 menacers and win, or we can just... Well, or our opponent scoops. We'll take it. So what did we learn this week about Budget Blackbird in Lost Caverns Ixalan Standard? And overall, the deck worked pretty well. We actually went 6-5 in 11 best-of-3 matches with the deck. So 55% win rate, which, hey, for playing a 14 rare budget deck, having a winning record, slowly ranking up, that's actually pretty sweet. So the deck... it's very interesting. It feels pretty powerful. Bloodletter of Aclazotz is actually just like an absurd card. Yes, it does die a lot, but we back it up with all this sneaky burn. Rankle's Prank was really effective. So in general, the deck felt pretty reasonable. I will say... was not impressed with Tithing Blade. I like the idea of like, oh, I have Tithing Blade and I craft it and drain you out of the game. But in practice, it turns out being sorcery speed is actually like kind of a really big problem in our current standard format. So I think we might have to cut that. But in general, only 14 rares to put together. The deck feels pretty competitive, pretty good against Esper. We actually won all of our Esper matchups, which is nice because that's a really popular deck in the format. So if you like the idea of burning players out, but not a fan of red, or you maybe played the modern version of Blackbird and want to give Standard a try, I think it's a really fun budget option that wins way more than it probably should. So that's Blackbird for Standard. That's Better Budget Magic for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon. Looking for even more magic? Well, check out the video where I explain the Magic the Gathering iceberg, or maybe the Against the Odds, where we try to add 1,000 counters to Millennium Calendar.